Well, after shootings like this, we all spend a lot of time talking about how to prevent the next one. But is that even realistic? Let's bring in Bernard Zapor, former special agent in charge for the ATF and faculty associate at Arizona State University's School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. I think of, what must go through the minds of these people, like the guy yesterday who's accused of shooting up that supermarket. He's 18 years old. His whole life was in front of him, and now his life essentially is over because of what he decided to do. Do they not think about this before they open fire? Are they so wrapped up in themselves, as you say, so psychopathic that nothing else matters to them?
You'd have to have a conscience to feel that way. And so, no, there's not. It's a blind obsession. It lacks empathy. Thus, it makes them so incredibly dangerous.
I wonder, it seems like these things have gotten so much worse since video games became so realistic and so violent. Have you done research or, learned that video games tend to just desensitize people to the actual results of pulling a trigger?
I think in terms of causation, what the information shows us is that as we become more disfranchised as individuals and groups, people leave a faith, for example, the family units become smaller or more disconnected. We live at further distances, and we're communicating through a medium that was never really intended as a human being, which is online or through texting or these kind of things. We get separated as humans to have that connection that builds, I would say, an inner morality. But all of that aside, there's things that we know that if we have areas where we congregate as in groups, we have large retail locations, we have large churches, there's things we can do in anticipation from this anomalous event, which still is rare in the U.S., even though it's increasing. And there's things we can proactively do to protect ourselves and protect our groups from the vulnerability of somebody like today walking into a place of worship or walking into a shopping center and doing what he did.
Yeah. The gunman yesterday, police say, posted his rampage live. I mean, he was live streaming as he's shooting and filming on Twitch, which is one of those websites or apps that's popular in the video game community. Does he actually think that people were going to stand up and applaud what he's doing? Why go to the trouble? Why put that out there?
It has been argued that this is the fuel and the obsession with oneself. At the end of it, you end at the hell of just yourself, what you want more than anything. And so, again, in terms of prevention, it's like, let's assume that we have the possibility of somebody coming to try to do this. So we put the policies and process in place that if we have customers, if we have staff, that they're trained in the basic run, hide, fight, that people are not getting lost to the normal physiological response to hostile gunfire, which is to free solid. So we can overcome some of those things. And in a place like a church or a place of worship, that we may actually go to the step of having armed security that's trained specifically in countering an active shooter. There have been church shootings that have been stopped in this country by trained personnel. They've had parishioners that were retired military or current or retired law enforcement that have trained, they volunteered their services when they have large congregations or Sunday school, and they have stopped these shooters from killing people just by having that resource. And I would argue that this is essential in our nation, that we make this the norm.
Bernard Zapor, we appreciate the information. Thank you.